if he blink Ravages, by the time his Ravage is up, he'll be respawned no matter what, right? If he buys back, what's he got? A Gush, a Mech, a Blink. That's about it. Anchor Smash is good.
Good point.
But I feel like he should just go all in on the Refresher here, because if they get the right double Ravage, that's game winning completely.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, these Dire supports are finally getting some farm. We'll see FNG make some progress towards an Aghanim Scepter, though still rather far away. The Rubik's the big one. Glimmer Cape and Blink Dagger. Since Lil's been able to pick up these mobility items, we've seen a much bigger impact out of his Grand Magus.
C2Y coming forward.
Yeah, only one outer tower remaining for eHome, and it looks like VP won't press the issue, at least not for now.
Phobos for now is just saving buyback. In case he does get killed at the start of the fight without using Ravage, he's going to need it. So that's the dangerous part.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's no point in just buying the extra pieces. You either save for buyback or you buy the whole Refresher. Okay,
but he's got the surplus.
Yep, 100 gold. So definitely want to pull for buyback till you can buy the entire thing. VP just doing the dance. They may want to wait out until they have enough gold for the Refresher.
Lanham still trying to scout things out. He's got a Solar Crest, but I don't really think that's the item this game. The right click from Gyrocopter, he's got an MKB already.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have an item coming? It's an Observer Ward. Careful.
Oh, watch out. Oh, G, very far forward. eHome maybe thinking about initiation here. Looking at Dire Vision. They don't have a hell of a lot. It is nighttime after all. eHome.
He's thinking about ulti.
No, he gets punched. G. There we go. Walrus punch to get things started. Call down gets queued up from Illidan. Laguna Blade almost finishes off G. Can they get him? They will.
He's going to buy back.
Yang chases him down. Illidan also drops. Phobos comes in with a Ravage, but BKBs were on. It's a disaster for the Dire this go-around. G comes right back into the fight. Gets off the Sonic Wave, but there's just no follow-up. He'll take a Walrus punch. Has to blink defensively. Now VP just trying to get out of here. FNG's TP gets interrupted. G locked in place. And this could be a dieback if they can catch him, but no. He'll make it out for now. Phobos falls to Yang. 4 dead on the side of VP. Really 5, including the buyback. And this could be it. Have eHome finally done it here, Purge? It's nearly a 10,000 gold swing.
I mean, why did that fight go so bad? They got to initiate first, I guess. The Quap basically just ran away. I feel like he maybe should have used his BKB instead, honestly, because the first fight is tough. But Razor was just wrecking damage there. He must have sapped a lot from somebody. The Ravage was kind of weak. It went through 2 BKB heroes, caught 2 supports on the edge, but there was no follow-up, and you need the follow-up.
Mm-hmm. And the Ravage just, the BKBs were on. It's tough at this stage of the game. Finding that perfect Ravage is really difficult. They need him to initiate out of Fog, and instead it was eHome that got the jump on VP.
Like, they shouldn't have been sitting around the Tier 2 tower. Like, it's 54 minutes in the game. This might as well be a 70-minute game as far as I'm concerned. Tier 2 towers are nothing at this point. Mm-hmm. It's all about the team fight, and there's no way to sit there and let them fish for you for that long. And they let them fish, and they caught them.
Well, G throws a less than ideal ult there. Fills about 1 creep as they start to siege. Buyback now used by the Tidehunter. There are 0 buybacks remaining for Virtus Pro. This is it. They need to make a hold here. Remember, they don't have any Tier 4 towers, so Throne is exposed in favor of eHome. They get the Tier 3 tower. There is a glyph for the Dire side. Razor will go ahead and pick up his Assault Kuros to make sieging even easier at this stage of the game. Rocket will chase him down. Okay.
It's a Ravage in 20, so they're not quite ready. Oh, they actually Glimmer Caped him in. Ravage up in 2, but his whole team is very far back.
Yeah, they'll hold for now. eHome don't press their luck. All right. Roche has respawned. This is Roche 3.
Basically nothing happened just now. Is what happened.
They got a Tier 3 tower, which is basically nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. Roche is going to be there. They see it.
All right.
And they see a lot of eHome back. Will they be able to rush for it is the question. They have pretty good damage.
eHome have not scattered out the Roche pit. Taking a look at their vision right here, they only have a couple wards on the western side of the map, but nothing around the Roche area. It is VP that walks straight in. Can ROTK snipe the last hit again? He did it once.
Their team's going to get here in time, I think. It's not taking enough damage. And VP's got to be careful.
Looking at Dire Vision, they have no idea until they see the ice shards. They back out with Roche at about half health. In comes ROTK.
Oh, he gets the blink.
Uses the Shivas, but will miss. Okay.
That was so close. If he got punched there, Tidehunter would have been forced to Ravage, and they would have had to take that team fight. But he barely made it out. Absolutely clutch escape. And now the dance for Roche.
Yeah, it's on a hairpin trigger here. And for VP, they just have no lane control in this top. They constantly have to worry about creeps coming in to poke their throne now that they're out of safety structures. Just 1 effigy remaining.
Same goes for eHome, really. I mean, they've got the Tier 4s up, but any bit that they can keep these alive is going to buy them time later in a point where it could be a base race.
Oh, nice track from Lanham. Gets that little bit of intel into the Roche pit to see exactly where Illidan is positioned.
Ice Shards, good steal. They can play with this. Blink forward.
ROTK goes in. They go right onto Illidan. He gets BKB'd, and he's dead. No buyback there. Laguna and Winter's Curse enough to lock him in place. eHome will take the safe play and try to go for Roche while they have a 5v4 advantage, and then they'll hightail it straight to the Dire base.
Are they going to try this?
I think VP
no
have to. Phobos, does he? Or maybe they just back out.
They're not going to win this fight, I think. Oh, he actually gets hit.
All right, they'll hand the Roche over. Sonic Wave.
She tries to steal the gold, but...
Noble effort. Short cooldown. Absolutely worth it to try.
The gyro is just worthless at this point. That's what's happening. He's getting Winter Cursed by DDC. He's got a Blink Dagger. He just Blink Winter's Curse, and then Lina throws an ult, and he's out of HP. He's only sitting at about 1,700, I think, somewhere around there. So Lina ult takes off more than half, and they easily have the right click on top of that.
Yeah, he could really use a Satanic at this point, just for the extra HP and having some way to try and lifesteal through, but he's so far away.
Even that I don't think is going to matter. The Satanic's 500 HP. If the Lina really wants to, she just two-shots him with the Refresher.
That's true.
And that's the issue. Like, their main carry, like, yeah, G's been doing great dishing damage out, but they really need a real carry to do the damage. You know what might be a solution? Lincoln Sphere. Either stop the Winter's Curse. He's popping his BKB in time, but all that stuff goes through Magic Immunity.
He's still just so far away, though. I don't think he'll have an opportunity to farm at this game.
G's got an Ultimate Orb right now. This could be a Hex, but I think it has to be a Lincoln Sphere. Because they need to keep the gyro alive.
It's their only hope.
Exactly. It's the only way to keep gyro stopping or not dying to the Lina ult.
This is so scary here, though, Purge. All 5 buybacks from eHome are available. None of the buybacks are available for Virtus Pro.
It's the last chance, and they've got their cooldowns. They're ready to go. Refreshers up on time.
Double Ravage.
He sold the mech.
Oh, here we go.
Will they see it coming?
Well, it hasn't been revealed yet, so probably not. Glyph comes out right away to try and hold the barracks a bit longer. G off to the side. Phobos is smoked up. It gets broken. Ravage number 1 connects on 2. ROTK will be able to BKB.
He's saving the second.
Phobos holding on to it for now. He hasn't even refreshed yet. eHome taking a surprising amount of damage.
He catches
There's the second Ravage.
Illidan's
he
alive.
could go down.
Dead.
He's dead indeed. ROTK falls as G jumps out of the base. It's a good hold for VP for now, but the buybacks from eHome are coming. Now G outside of the base will be able to blink back. Barracks going down here, but Phobos coming out of the base. He's pretty tanky. Walrus Punch will lock him in place. Ice Shards to try and break up the back line. And now Phobos will certainly fall. The rest of VP on the back foot, headed towards the well. It's Yang in hot pursuit. He'll get the Ancient Apparition. G with the last-ditch Sonic Wave, but this seems to be the end here, Purge. It's eHome that will take a 2-0 over Virtus Pro and secure themselves top 4 in Group B of the International 5 group stages.
Oh, what an emotional game. Up and down. One team getting an advantage. VP getting the advantage back. They grabbed the core items, but in the end, the cores were just too strong against what VP were dealing with, and Gyro just didn't have the HP to survive those Lina ults. And CTY pulls through in the end with some awesome support play. Like, everybody on eHome just absolutely clutched it after the 40-minute mark. Like, at that point, they were like, we're winning this game, and they absolutely pulled it out.
What an incredible series. Game 1, super heated and action-packed. Game 2, even better. It came down to the bitter end. VP putting up one hell of a good fight, but in the end, they just couldn't do it. With that, folks, we're done for now. We're going to hand it back over to the analysts to see what they thought about that game.
And here we are.
Okay.
We're right here. We haven't gone anywhere. All right. Well, okay. We'll go through the situations a little bit later. We caught the later half or portion of that game. And what you guys think? I mean, eHome looking really strong today. Apparently, just not. I mean, I guess they drew a lot, so that doesn't really say too much until now. That doesn't say too much about how they were playing. VP trying to put up a really good fight towards the end, but eHome definitely had their number going all the way.
Yeah. Well, that last game, I don't know. That was absolutely completely crazy. You can't really fault either team for anything in that game.
Yeah.
Or well, you can look into the individual fights and be like, okay, they're making mistakes. That's not what I mean, but it's very chaotic in the late game, and I don't feel like eHome looked like way stronger than VP in this game too. It's ridiculously close for a reason, but they do get the 2-0 win.
When he
eHome has also been playing pretty solidly in general.
It's like so lucky.
I would say yes, they've got some draws, but they've shown good games for sure. And now it's going to get really interesting.
Yes.
Let's do a little bit of an update on the score situation, unless you want to break down the game a little bit more.
I mean,
we'll do that right after.
Yeah, we can do it right after, and I think all of us while watching were just each fight was interesting. Sure, there were faults and whatnot. It got a little crazy.
But there
overall,
were so many good games.
The result is what matters, and at that point, every fight just matters. It's whoever really wins the last fight that comes through, and that happened to be in VP's base. So let's bring up the standings and let's break this down because the dust still has not settled in Group B.
Now, the reason VP are going to be kicking themselves a little bit over that loss is not the fact that they... Oh, well, it is the fact that they didn't get their 1 point. It's not that they didn't 2-0. That's the problem. The problem is that they didn't at least draw.
Yes.
Because now at this point they have 9 points, and that means that their fate now rests with Empire. Because if Empire, who are going up now against MVP Hot 6 in their next match, if they 2-0 them, you can see Empire will end up on 9 points, which would tie them with VP. And we don't do heads up for 4th place. For 4th place, there's a tiebreaker series being played.
Yeah, that's it's too important. So.
Yes. So therefore, all of the results don't matter if it's tied for 4th place. And that is pretty likely that Empire could 2-0 MVP. And in addition to that, of course, if you're looking for eHome, they have another matchup. They will be playing C-Deck as their last game. And that's important, too, because if one of the teams 2-0s, they actually get 1st place. And even though it looks like it would be a shared 1st place for eHome and EG, it is for eHome alone because they have the better tiebreaker going down.
Right.
The tiebreaker is you start at the top, you go down, and you check matchups. And they both, should eHome win, both eHome and EG would have 2-0'd C-Deck, but then against VP, EG drew, and eHome would have then 2-0'd them, as we just saw. So both series remaining very, very important.
Yeah, so nothing really still settled. Unfortunately, MVP Hot 6 doesn't, even if they get the 2-0 against Empire, they are still going to be just at the very bottom 2 slots of Group B. So they will not get a choice going to the bracket stage. So that's something I guess we can confirm after their match against Newbie. But yeah, I mean, the fact that we have like one set of matches, right? So 2 matches left in the day, in the week of the group stages, and we still don't know exactly how things are panning out or even which 4 teams exactly from Group B are going to move on is pretty crazy. Winter, do you dare to even predict how this is going to go through? Because it's just getting flip-flopped all back and forth.
I started by saying Group A is slightly stronger, but apparently not.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, right? Like, regardless, I guess what we know for sure is Group B is much closer together. And you could say, I guess, there were more upsets. But there were also a lot of draws in Group B. So it seems like they were just much more even in ground.
We wouldn't be in this kind of situation if there weren't those draws at the start. I mean, I know starting my first day, I had the doubleheader with EG where they dropped 1 game against Newbie and a game against Virtus Pro, which most people didn't expect. They were expecting EG to come in and be able to 2-0 their opponents pretty swiftly. And now you look at it, had they been able to do that with just one of those teams, they wouldn't have to worry about this position. So
yeah, and a lot of those other situations could have changed too. I mean, the fact that even Newbie finishing the whole week with a 0-6-1 result, it seems lackluster because it's a 0 in front, but then the fact that means they took 6 games off throughout. So every opponent except for 1, they've taken a map off, they've tied. That's pretty impressive, especially.
And who knows how they would have gone in best of 3s, right?
Exactly.
That's what we're going to,
know.
obviously, later on.
So definitely pretty interesting, but here the big storyline is, can eHome make it all the way to the very top of Group B? And is Empire going to give it their all, of course, which I'm sure they want to tie VP and force it to a tiebreaker for that upper bracket versus lower bracket difference? And that one is huge. I mean, because if you go into the lower bracket again, as we've been mentioning throughout the week, next week, the very first matches in the lower bracket are best of 1. So you just don't want to have to play that risk. You want to start somewhere where you start with a best of series, and then you also get that second chance in the lower bracket.
We get more Dota if Empire 2-0s. That's what everyone wants, right? More Dota.
That is true. Winter, you don't seem that excited. Come on, man.
Man, if
You're
it's a good game.
VP fan?
Compared to Empire, kind of yes, because I like to watch how FNG drafts and the way he thinks, like he picks heroes for his team, for his